George Russell is being hyped up as one of a few young F1 drivers that could be challenging for world championships in the future, despite him currently being one of the drivers with the most races without scoring a point. But with almost 2 years in the sport, is that hype rightfully deserved? Let's talk about it. Born in 1998 in Kingsland, England, George Russell was the youngest of three siblings. He got into karting at the age of 7, with his older brother Benji already competing competitively. He started his karting career in 2006 and progressively moved through the age ranks. In 2008, he won his first karting race, the Kart Masters British Grand Prix in the WTP Caddy category. In 2009, he won the Formula Kart Stars MSA Cadet, where some notable drivers were taking part, such as future Formula One and esports team owner Lando Norris, alongside his brother Oliver, and currently GT Endurance driver Ricky Collard. He also came second in the Super One National Comer Cadet Championships behind Alex Hill, but was again ahead of the Norris Bros and also current F2 title contender Callum Island. This may be kids racing, but there is some tough competition. In 2010, he won the Kart Masters British Grand Prix Rotax Minimax, which featured another current F2 driver and also Renault Academy driver Guan Yu Zhou. He also won the Formula Kart Stars Minimax and the Super One National Rotax Minimax Championships, where Jack Aitken, a current F2 and Williams Academy driver, finished third. In 2011, he won the SK USA Super National 15, a race which featured the punching dummy for unpaid drivers Lance Stroll, but also current Formula E driver Sergio Sette Camara. In 2012, he won the 17th Winter Cup KF3, the CIK FIA European KF3 Championships, a race that featured current F2 drivers Dan Tickton, Callum Ilott, Robert Schwartzman, Nikita Mazepin. Oh, and Lance Stroll found his way to the circuit, finishing 21st.
Bruh.
We also graced with the presence of Luca Corberi. Remember him?
Oh, and there's Luca Corberi watching at the side of the road. What's he doing? What is Luca Corberi playing?
He also came third in the WSK Masters Series 3 KF3 and second in the Super One National KF3 Championship. All in all, a pretty commendable karting career with some pretty tough opposition. After a null and void 2013, Russell took the step up to single-seaters in 2014, having a full season in the Formula Renault 2.0 Alp Series with Karinen GP. His teammates across the season would be Mikhail Tarasov, Kang Ling, Vitaly Larionov, Hongli Ye, Ignacio da Costa, Bo Juan, but more notably 2019 F2 champion and Formula E driver Nick de Vries, and also Pietro Fittipaldi. He finished fourth in the standings with 128 points and one podium coming at the Red Bull Ring. In the standings, he finished behind teammate Nick de Vries. Second place was F2 2017 champion and current Ferrari driver Charles Leclerc, and in third place was Matevos Isakian. He also took part in the BDRC Formula 4 Championships with Lannan Racing, which he won by 3 points over teammate Aryan Mayani, who went on to compete in Formula 2 with Campos and Trident. In the championships, Russell took 5 wins, 2 at Silverstone, 1 at Brands Hatch, 1 at Alton Park, and 1 at Snetterton. 7 podiums and 3 pole positions, also claiming 5 fastest laps, showing that he was clearly a very well-rounded driver. He made a pretty small appearance in the final round of the 2014 Eurocup Formula Renault 2.0 at Jerez for Tech 1 Racing. His teammates for the race were Antoine Hubert, rest in peace, you will always be in our thoughts. And Igor Odoriezev. And by small appearance, I meant he took pole position, got the fastest lap, and got the team's only win of the season. He also took part in the third round at the Moscow Raceway with Karinen, but nothing really happened, coming in an anonymous 15th and 22nd position. Thanks to those performances, he won the McLaren Autosport BRDC Award, which had been won by former F1 drivers David Coulthard, Paul di Resta, and F1 champion Jenson Button. Also up for the award that year was a certain Alexander Albon, current holder of the poison chalice that is the Red Bull second driver's seat. For 2015, George moved up to the FIA Formula 3 Championships, driving for Carlin alongside teammates Callum Ilott and Tatiana Calderon. This championship was stacked with talent such as current F1 drivers Antonio Giovinazzi, Charles Leclerc, Alex Albon, and Lance Stroll. But there was also Sergio Sette Camara, Marcus Pommer, and eternal meme lord Mahavir Raghunathan. For his first season, Russell finished 6th, finishing above both of his teammates with Ilott in 12th and Calderon in 27th. He managed to pick up a win at Silverstone and a podium at Spa-Francorchamps, but he was beaten out by Felix Rosenqvist, Giovinazzi, Dennis, Charles Leclerc, and Lance Stroll. But in the Rookies Championship, he finished second only to Leclerc thanks to more consistency than Stroll. In 2015, he was also selected to be part of the BRDC Superstars, a program that works with some of Britain's most promising drivers. The program also featured names such as Alex Albon, Oliver Rowland, and Alex Lynn. In 2016, George remained in the FIA Formula 3 Championship, this time racing for High-Tech Grand Prix, having for teammates Ben Barnicoat and current F2 driver Nikita Mazepin. George improved on 2015 by finishing third in the championship, once again beating both of his teammates Barnicoat in 8th and Mazepin in 20th, securing 3 wins, 3 poles, and 2 fastest laps. But ultimately, the season was dominated by Lance Stroll, cruising to victory by almost 200 points over second place and teammate Maximilian Gunther. For 2017, George moved into GP3, signing for ART Grand Prix alongside Jack Aitken, Nirei Fukuzumi, and Antoine Hubert. This proved to be a very successful season for both George and ART, securing a 1-2-3-4 in the championships, naturally winning the team title in the process. George won the championship by almost 80 points, taking home 4 wins, 3 podiums, 4 pole positions, and 5 fastest laps, a truly dominant display by him. Alongside winning the title, George was also signed up in early 2017 to the Mercedes Junior Driver Program, where he got his first proper Formula One race weekend experience, driving in the FP1 sessions for Force India at the Brazilian and Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. In 2018, George drove in Formula 2, the final step before Formula 1, once again driving for ART Grand Prix, alongside Jack Aitken. And just like in GP3 the year prior, George won the title, this time ahead of fellow Brit Lando Norris and Alexander Albon. George won the title by almost 70 points, with a total of 7 wins, 4 coming in the feature races at the Spanish, French, Austrian, and Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and 3 in the sprint races at Baku, Monza, and Sochi. He also claimed 4 podiums and 5 pole positions, along with 5 fastest laps. On October the 13th, it was announced that George Russell would be driving alongside Robert Kubica for Williams Racing in Formula One, with a multi-contract year deal. Russell's F1 career didn't get off to the best of starts, as at pre-season testing in Barcelona, Williams arrived with a half-assembled car, missing the first 2 days of testing, and it's fair to say even when they got on track, the writing was on the wall. And this season was going to be a season of languishing at the back, often being close to a second off the rest of the midfield. In this situation, that means your only real competition is your teammate, and in qualifying, Russell managed to outqualify Kubica at every single race, a feat managed the year prior by Fernando Alonso over Stoffel van Dorn. Overall, Russell was around 5 tenths quicker on average than Kubica, with the Williams never reaching Q2, with Russell achieving their highest position of 16th in qualifying at the Hungaroring. For the races, Russell generally finished ahead of Kubica, except on 2 occasions where the cars both finished. Those were in France, where Russell finished in P19 and Kubica in P18, and in Germany, where Russell finished P11 and Kubica P10, getting the Williams' only point of the season. Now, Russell was one of 3 rookies in 2019, alongside F2 rivals and friends Lando Norris and Alexander Albon, who respectively were at McLaren and Toro Rosso/Red Bull. They enjoyed much more success because they had much more competitive cars. In terms of standout moments for Russell in 2019, there are two that come to mind. The Hungarian Grand Prix qualifying, where he managed to put over a second on teammate Kubica, placing P16, on merit rather than relying on other cars' failures. The second was at the Brazilian Grand Prix, where Russell crossed the line in 12th, only 1.5 seconds off the points. For 2020, Russell was paired up with 2019 F2 runner-up Nicholas Latifi. Pre-season testing came and went, with the car performing much closer to the back of the grid, but then the pandemic hit, and the season was delayed until mid-July. In the meantime, Russell did end up winning the virtual Grand Prix series against a few other F1 drivers and sporting stars, where during this time the Twitch quartet was formed, with Russell, Albon, Norris, and Leclerc, often found playing games and streaming on Twitch. With them being more in touch with social media, they have a big impact on the younger fans, with their popularity rising every year. Though of the time of recording the season is not yet done, we are pretty much 80% through the season, and for Russell and Williams it has been a season of growth, as the FW43 is much more competitive than last year's FW42, with so far Russell being in Q2 8 out of the 13 races, giving him the nickname Mr. Saturday for his impressive qualifying performances. Once again, he has not been out-qualified this season by Latifi, with the latter only getting out of Q1 on one occasion at the Hungarian Grand Prix. So far this season, Russell hasn't scored any points, but has delivered multiple solid performances, such as at the British Grand Prix, finishing in 12th, and at the opening round in Austria, he was battling just outside the top 10 when he had a mechanical issue. In Mugello, he drove more than half of the race in the points, and if it was not for a missed restart after a red flag caused by Lance Stroll Racing Point crashing into the barriers, points were there for the taking. Now, yes, at the most recent Grand Prix at Imola, he made a very silly mistake crashing under the safety car while in the points. But those are mistakes that will happen, especially early on in the career. For example, Lewis Hamilton was going too fast in China, beaching his car in the gravel trap just before the pit entrance.
So hard to get them, but yeah.
Or when Roman Grosjean did a similar thing in Baku in 2018. I'm kidding, Roman. I love you, really. Anyways, my point is that silly mistakes will happen, and they will only make you stronger. Unless you're called Pastor Maldonado. Finally, do I believe that George Russell is world champion material? Going for what I've seen over his junior career and what he's been able to extract from a not so competitive car, then yes. But all of that will depend if he's giving his chance. Because in Formula One, we all know that money talks. Now, will he be as successful at Mercedes as Lewis Hamilton if he does get that seat? Probably not. But one thing's for sure, Formula One is in good hands when it comes to young drivers coming through. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to share and subscribe. If you have any suggestions on who I should talk about next, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Take it away, Alex.
I slowed it way too much. I keep forgetting. George!